Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to ARK. In today's episode, we are going to focus on taming different kinds of dinos. We are going to need something that can gather berries for us, something that has a decent amount of weight so we can transport materials, and maybe even a special kind of dino towards the end of this video. If you like what you see, please go ahead and leave a like for me. If you have any tips or ideas on how to do things better or differently, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So the first tame on today's list is a berry gatherer. The trek we saw at the end of the last episode is going to be perfect for us. It's a level 50 and it's stuck between two trees, making this a pretty easy knockout. Not only will we be able to gather plenty of narco berries with it, we will also be able to get berry and crop seeds from it as well. This is pretty helpful early on due to us making crops such as rock carrots, citronal, long grass, and salvo roots. Those are pretty important going on. It'll help taming efficiency a little bit with herbivores, but it's also used for recipes. So this trike is knocked out. We're going to get rid of this dillo real quick, and after we take care of that, we're going to get some berries to feed this trike, and I will cut back once the trike is tamed up. Okay, so we can check berry gatherer off the list. This trike is going to help us get narco berries, crop seeds, anything berry related so much easier than what we would have done picking by hand. I mean, just look at all these berries. That is ridiculous. The benefit of this is we can pump out narcotics so much faster than what we could have just by picking them by hand. And luckily we have a Carno here to keep spoiled meat for us, as well as get more meat to spoil. So essentially we could almost have an endless supply of narcotics just because of having this berry gatherer. So that takes care of the berry gatherer. We're going to get some more berries. I'm going to get a good amount of narcotics going. But the next thing we want to focus on is getting a transport dino. So when I'm ready for that, I'll go ahead and cut back over there. See you guys soon. Alright, so next on our list is a good transport dino. I'm thinking one of the best dinos we can get right now is an Argentavis. They have great weight, they're a flyer, and they can also be used as a smithy while they have a saddle equipped. Now, for those of you who don't know where I'm at, if you look on the map, on the western side of the map, right before you hit the snow biome, there is this beach area. And as you can see, there's an RG in that corner just flying right now. They tend to spawn here pretty regularly. Only one or two spawns. But I'm not going for the best of the best right now. I just want to get an RG. I'm going to knock it out, and I want to take it back to base so I can at least have something to carry metal, crystal, obsidian, whatever I need it to carry without having to worry about being slowed down. Now, before we get started taming this RG, we want to get a spyglass. The thing with RGs is they are aggressive. So if I go up to one, it's going to aggro to me and it's going to want to attack me. So it's better for me to create the spyglass and look at the level far away so I can get prepared for it in advance. Now you can see me, I believe it's fiber, wood, crystal, and thatch, I believe, that you need to make for it. Yep. So I got one crafted right now. Now I'm pretty sure that one RG died because it was being chased by several carnivores. And usually if you team up on an RG like that, something bad's going to happen. So I'm also going to make a couple bolas just in case one of the smaller dinos tries to come get me. I can at least stop them and keep them in the tracks. So I'll make a few of those right now. And then afterwards, I think we're going to try to see if we can't find an RG around here. So we're a little overweight. We're going to get rid of some of this meat. Get rid of the berries. Everything really, we don't need any of it. So we're going to fly over. You can fly into the actual snow biome if you want, but it does get really cold. So you might lose health really fast if your fortitude's not up. Oh, look at that. There's an RG. Level 15. Okay, not too bad. If we could find a higher level, that'd be great. But like I said, I think that other one that was here had already died. So, I don't see any flying around that big rock. I don't see anything flying down over there. I think our best bet is at level 15. So I'm going to go ahead and pull its aggro. Now, you want to do this because if you were to knock it out here, those other carnivores could come and potentially damage, if not kill, this Archie. So we're going to kite it away. As you can see in the bottom right corner, I got that ice cube. Anytime you see that icon, you will lose health slowly, depending on how much fortitude you have put in, as well as the clothing you wear. So I'm not flying away awfully quick because it is slower than me. Sometimes if you need to, let it attack you. That way it maintains its aggro. Otherwise, if you fly away too far, it will get disinterested and it will just start flying away, doing whatever it wants to do. So as you can see, we're getting closer and closer. No longer ice cubes, so I can maintain a knockout area over here. So I would recommend for your first time taming one of these dinos to create a dino pen. You just need to make an enclosure that it can't fly out of. I've been doing this so long that I can kind of maneuver and angle myself around taming these kind of things. If you are pretty experienced in what you're doing, what you can do is you can use a tame, like my Pteranodon for instance. You can use it as bait, and that'll allow the RG to attack your bait while you knock it out. And you're going to see me do that here. So I'm going to land. I've got its aggro. We go and shoot it so it maintains aggro, and bam, here we go. So as you can see, it's going right towards the Pteranodon. What that does is that preoccupies that RG, so it's not going to want to fly away. Now this is a pretty low level, so it shouldn't take many trank arrows. We're just going to pelt it, and look at it, it's already running away. Bam. So, again, I recommend if this is your first time on Ark, taming something like this, definitely use a pin. Otherwise, you can use the same method I did. Alright, so now we have an RG. Now, the cool thing with RGs is not only do they have decent weight, so we can pick up materials like metal and transport them back, they can also pick up dinos. So say you want to tame this raptor, you could simply just pick it up like I did here, and instead of attacking it, you could drop it into a little pin that you build, and you can knock it out. Also, you never want to underestimate the kinds of dinos that are out here. A pack of hyenodons could easily have killed this RG right here if I wasn't careful. Luckily, I was up on this little ridge, so I was able to somewhat control how much damage I was actually taking. You see how I fell down there? And look at my health just go down in the top right corner. And it's just getting shredded. And these are all hyenodons. Tames that you wouldn't think would do much damage to me at all. So you definitely want to be careful about that and always be mindful of what could possibly be around that area. So, with that being said, I think we should go ahead and get some metal. Alright, so we've made it back to base. We got a decent amount of metal. So, at this point, my main focus is trying to get a fabricator. Now, with a fabricator, you're going to need spark powder, crystal, metal ingots, cementing paste, and oil. Spark powder and metal are going to be the easier ones. However, oil, cementing paste, and crystal are going to be a little more difficult. Luckily, there are some bee respawns nearby, as I can go get the cementing paste. There's a mountain nearby that I can use to find some crystal on. And there's also trilobites in the nearby river that I can get oil from as well. So luckily it's all around me, pretty close proximity, that I can pretty easily get this fabricator set up. So as you can see, I'm making the spark powder. I want to get some wood so I can go ahead and get this metal smelted. And then the two easiest ones are going to be done. So I will go ahead and cut back to when I have all that stuff. Alright, so we now have everything that we need to make this fabricator. And one thing you need to know about these is you also need gasoline to power them on. Now the way you make gasoline is you take hide and oil and you put them in a refining forge, and they will over time make gasoline. So you'll get a fuel source from oil, and you'll also be able to craft materials with oil. Now, what getting a fabricator does is it can allow us to make refrigerators and air conditioners. Refrigerators are obviously for storing stuff you don't want to spoil, like your meat, your berries, your kibble, your brews, your potions, all that kind of stuff. Air conditioners are going to be perfect for regulating temperature, and it's also going to help us hatch eggs once we get to that stage. So, the next step that we want to do is, some of you may actually want to look at drops. Now, given where we're at right now, I highly recommend you avoid them, just because the caves we're about to enter, we're going to be able to find a lot better loot than what we can find from these drops. If you see a red drop and you're high enough level for it, go for it. Otherwise, you're going to see some pretty poor stuff from drops like these. Now, it also depends on your server settings, but if it's close to official like what I'm playing, then you're going to get stuff like that kite helmet and the ladder. And I believe that ladder was a blueprint. So, again, depending on your settings, it may be worth it, it may not. It's entirely dependent on how you have your server set up. Alright, so now we have a fabricator. This is so huge for us this early on in the series. What it's going to allow us to do, like I said earlier, is make fridges and air conditioners. But to do that, we need electronics. Now that's where this guy comes into play. If you remember me saying something earlier about a special dino at the beginning of this video, this is that special dino. Tech dinos are amazing creatures within Ark. When you harvest them, they don't give you meat and hide like they would from normal creatures. Instead, they give oil, scrap metal, which can be used as regular metal, element dust, and electronics. Now, with all that, you can actually make an electronic, oil, and scrap metal farm by having a bunch of these together. However, that's going to be a video for another day. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's awfully short, but there wasn't much to it besides just taming a bunch of creatures today. If you did like this video, go ahead and leave a like. Consider subscribing down below. With that being said, my name is Storm, and I'll see you guys next time.